Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you all for, gosh, I have to say, I'm so grateful for the gratitude that came across my channel in my last reading where I asked if you would let me know what you're feeling grateful for. If I didn't, I tried to get to as many as I could in the time that I had. But wow, I was just blown away, absolutely blown away. Ask and ye shall receive was certainly the motto for my last reading. So a warm, warm thank you for sharing your gratitude with me. Now, today there's a lot to read about, but I think I'm going to focus on the eclipse on July the 5th. Now that is, I'm using a Washington astrology chart. So, wherever you are in the world, times will be different. The placement of the planets will be different, but of course, the major configurations will largely be the same. When I look at that chart, and I won't go into too much detail because I want to do a few things today in this reading, including looking at the energy around this coming weekend as well, and we'll pull tarot cards. But look, I just want to mention that these major planets, Pluto, which of course can be destruction, but it can also mean rebirth and renewal as well. It's retrograde in Capricorn along with Jupiter and of course Saturn as well. When I go down to Mercury, it's retrograde in Cancer. It's also squaring Mars in Aries as well. So what I see when I look at this chart is a lot of tensions that are symbolic, I guess, or real, not symbolic and real, I guess, of what is going on in the US and the world at the moment. Also want to mention, before I go any further, when I'm talking about gratitude, I watched a clip in Belgium of those citizens pulling down a statue of their king that use the Congolese, the citizens of the Congolese, as slaves. There was a lot of brutality and maiming and killing that went on as well. So in Belgium, they're just simply pulling down that statue of that king. They're not going to honour that history. There are some wonderful things going on, not just in the US, but also in other parts of the world. It's almost like we've all developed a conscience all of a sudden. But we had to be pushed to the brink. Lives had to be lost. We had to see that ugly face of racism and where neo-fascists have taken us, how far down the road to the immoral behaviours and we had to see that up close and personal before we put a line in the sand. And that's tragic in itself, but I guess we learn during adversity. So going back to this chart, it's there's also one of my astrology mentors pointed out that this coincides with Pluto return in the US natal chart as well. So Pluto again is talking about it's going down to our core truths, to the foundation of who we are, and it can be destructive energy as well. Pluto is, associated with Scorpio, which is death and rebirth. But when I look at the opportunities here, I do see a huge, and I put that together intuitively with what's going on in the US and across the world. We are in the middle of adversity, but we are being asked to find our courage. We are being asked to find our truth. So I wanted to pull on a few of Brian Froud's fairy oracles. Some of you will know this. It's interesting, the cards that I pulled. I know about 80% of that deck, so I drew the cards before I came on just to make sure I wasn't reading anything from the book. But the cards that I've pulled kind of mirror what's going on astrologically and what we know intuitively is going on as well. As those coronavirus numbers start to blow out, as we start to hear of, what at worst, I guess, is treasonous behaviour in relation to American troops and the president. And as we start to put together a lot of what is going on with Republicans are starting to, some are starting to distance themselves from this president in various ways. There was a joint letter where Republicans joined with Democrats in the Senate and wrote protesting what is going on with the Voice of America. I shared that letter on my Facebook page if you're interested. So we have also Republicans in George Bush era are now coming out and joining and banding with Democrats to get rid of this president. We have Republicans against Trump, veterans against Trump, and we have the wonderful work of the Lincoln Project, which I've donated to in a way of passing on to the effort to get rid of Trump. We've got all of that going on where people are literally coming together in a joint endeavour. My previous readings have posed the question, how long can this president last? And, Trump in July was very, very volatile, that reading. But back to the eclipse, and I do feel what happens, and I say this a lot, what is happening in the collective can be sometimes mirrored for some in our own birth charts, in our natal charts as well, and in the issues and problems that we're confronting. A lot of us are going through this ending. A lot of us are worried about the future. A lot of us are worried about our jobs, our finances, our mortgages. We don't feel safe in this current climate. And we're being called upon to step forward courageously in the name of change. So with that said, I'm going to pull the laptop down and you'll see what is coming forward in the Brian Froud Oracle, which is very mirroring of what is going on globally at the moment. So, all right, so the cards that I've pulled, I'll just bring these down, and I am going to show you what's on the bottom of the deck as well. We've got, I guess, I like to always be optimistic. In the midst of destruction and endings, I like to think that we are coming over the hill to see a new dawn. That's just me. That's the way I like to be. And I do feel that the energy of what is occurring at the moment is just that, bringing us through over a huge climb, through the chaos, to really decide energetically, because so much of our actions are based on our energies. Energetically, what do we want to? Where do we want to be? Where do we want to take this future of ours? Where do we want to take this life of ours? This, gratitude. We're all living here. We're breathing. We've been given this opportunity to learn and not just to experience the lessons and move on, but also to experience the joy of renewal. So the first card out that I pulled was the Maiden Card. Now this is interesting because this is something new starting. This is an energy that comes forward at the beginning of cycles, and it holds a real promise for the future. But again, the choice for us is, what are we going to do with this new start? We're seeing the practical evidence of the new start, across the US and the world. It's a bit of a messy birth, isn't it? Or messy rebirth. How are we going to craft the future for ourselves? What lessons are we going to take forward and not get ourselves back into this same situation where apathy, where we went to sleep at the wheel and we allowed this misfortune to occur in the first place. How deep will the lesson be? My intuition is telling me the lesson is very deep because the adversity is very deep. And we are, with this Pluto return, particularly in the US, we are going that deep. We are going down to the bedrock and the foundation of our truths, and we are deciding how we want the future to be. That is the powerful energy that is occurring at the moment. 1 and 4, of course, 4 is the foundation, is a foundational number. If it's building and it's rebuilding. 1, of course, is the self, is the identity. They add up to 5, which is change. 5s are all about change. So this is something new. What are we going to do with it? The next card out was the Singer of Courage, and I just want to show you the energy. They're beautiful energy cards, these oracles. The Singer of Courage, what is coming into form? What is this upward energy? And what is it bringing to us? It's bringing to us change. We are being called upon to find the courage in the middle of adversity to bring forward this change. And again, this is bedrock change that we're dealing with at the moment. And it won't be all renewal and let's go on our way. There is pain, and there is, in some cases, a destruction. That tower element as well here. But we are being called upon to find our courage to make those changes. And so the responsibility falls very heavily on our shoulders now to step forward with courage. While we've got, that the need for courage, we've also got the Faun. The Faun talks about the magic that is around us, the magic that is available to us, the magic that is in nature, the magic that is the flow. The Faun describes the flow of things. And so I think we're being called upon here to do 2 things. To be honest, this is at the base of the pack, to be honest with ourselves, and to be honest about the situations that we find ourselves in, whether this is personal situations or otherwise. We are being called upon to be very, very honest, because the second thing that we're being called upon to do is, in that honesty, when we reach that honesty, to surrender and flow. And when we surrender and flow, the magic starts to occur. So, if you're worried, if you're panicking, if you're fearful, you're being called upon to find the courage to face your fears, and move on in courage. And that's when we start to align with the flow of things. But I think, I've been talking about this sword of truth coming forward. This card represents that energy for me. Again, another 4. So, Spirit is giving us the message that without honesty, we do not have solid foundations. Without the truth, we don't have any foundation at all. And really, I know that's a simple way of describing what is occurring at the moment, but unless you have the truth, unless you have honesty, unless you have the will here to find the truth, to live the truth, the courage to step forward and surrender and go with that flow, then you don't have that solid foundation. So I'm going to pull some tarot now. And let's see how this eclipse, penumbral eclipse on the 5th of July, 4th, 5th of July, let's see what it's going to bring forward for us. I'm just going to leave Brian Froud to one side, and we'll draw some new cards. All right. What's likely to come forward? Now you've got your July 4th. How ironic, how apt, how absolutely divine timing is this to experience in the US your Pluto return, to dig down that deeply on what is your Independence Day. There's no coincidence here. This is all part of the flow that we're all in. All right, let's see what the eclipse on July the 5th will bring forward for us. What will? Yeah, there's going to, energetically wise, there's going to be that element of troublemaking, of people who are going to want to people who are, I don't want to put anyone down, but people who do not want the truth to come forward for their own various agendas, which they may or may not know about. There's going to be that. There's going to be those that are going to resist this energy. So we've got that. And one of the biggest I guess risks we've got is the current president of the United States. But there's also powerful forces there as well, moneyed forces, who are not interested in honesty, who are not interested in the truth. And so this is where this singer of courage comes in. I do feel that this is a time for we will know the real mettle of your leaders. I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats to a certain extent. This is a time for Republicans to come forward and show that courage, to start something new, to end this cycle and begin something else. All right, at the collective and the individual level, show me the July 5th eclipse. Penumbral eclipse, full moon eclipse. Show me the July 5th eclipse, please, at the collective and the individual level. Okay, so we have the King of Wands. So here's where the leaders come in, and particularly in America at the moment, because your leadership is being forced to examine themselves and to decide what their part in this story is all about. This can be judges, this can be members of Congress, the King of Swords. Again, going with this singer of courage, deciding where they want to be on this side, on the right side of history or otherwise. Okay. History is not written by the winners. History is based on this understanding of the truth, a common understanding of the truth. Let's see what is challenging. The shift. The shift. A shift will occur around this time, an awakening. But this is in the challenge position. Unless you are courageous, unless you're willing to confront karma, that karmic cycle, then the shift may not occur because it's in the challenge position. So this is again calling on us to be courageous. Let me bring the laptop down. Okay, so let's see what is at the foundation of the reading. I'm noticing this is a 10. The Wheel of Fortune is the number 10. Again, pointing to this, Pluto energy that comes forward. Because Pluto, I think, is retrograde, isn't it? Let me just go back to my astrology chart. The ending is not going to be quick nor assured at this point. Let me just go back. Yes, Pluto is retrograde. And we've got this conjunction happening between retrograde Pluto and retrograde Jupiter, all in Capricorn, sitting right alongside that moon. Yeah, okay, so it's not assured just yet. We've actually got to do the shift. We've actually got to find the courage to make that shift. Interesting. I'm using my, where is the box? Wheel of the Year Tarot. The foundation of the reading. I don't read reversals, but we have the Five of Swords coming out in the reverse. So this abuse of power at the highest level is on the wane. It's on the wane. Now, why is it on the wane? Because we've seen what it has delivered for us and for everybody else. Because we're talking about the collective here. We're not separate from one another. Okay, let's have a look at what's in the past. The High Priestess, I always say she brings forward revelations. And this is, again, what this Pluto energy is going to be doing around this time. This woman is sitting on what looks like to be a crescent moon shape. So something has the opportunity of being revealed to us. Now you can look at, in the week before the eclipse, in the week after, around that 2-week period. And this is in the past position. So for many, you've already had that revelation. But it's also the seed, the spark of something new beginning, this maiden energy here, something new beginning. Let's see what's in the sky. The Seven of Pentacles. Of course, this card is going to come forward when we have so many major planets all retrograde in Capricorn. And so many of us, as I said, are looking to our finances in Australia. In some states, not all, we've had a resurgence, nothing like the US, of CV. And this tells us that there are no easy or quick fixes. We've been saying for a long time that this is all about endings and beginning again, but we don't get to bring that shift forward without having to undergo some kind of learning. And we're being taught, unfortunately, through adversity at the moment. So that's in the sky. We've got the review. The harvest not coming in. This is talking about recession. It's talking about the need to go back and plan. Now, the thing about the Maiden card is the Maiden card, there's a lot of flexibility with the Maiden card. You still have the power to craft your own future. You have the power to go back to the drawing board and decide how you want to go forward, to decide how you want to live in the future. All of these decisions are before us at the moment as we build and rebuild, and we balance and rebalance what is needed. The Seven of Cups in the immediate future. This talks about coming out of illusion and delusion. It is a caution not to be sidetracked, not to fall into the same patterns or wanting quick fixes or expecting everything to go back to the way that it was, because it won't. This is a new beginning. The spirit, the singer of courage. The energy is upward. The energy can't be stopped. The energy is calling on you to make the right choices. Let's have a look at the here and now, the Two of Swords. Absolutely a crossroads card. This talks about the heavy consequences that are weighing down on our decisions. And this is why you are seeing some Republicans in America breaking away from their president. And I would predict you'll see more of this because everybody knows this is crossroads for us. The atmosphere around or the environment that we're operating in, I've always liked this card, the Princess of Swords. She is ready. She's looking at the horizon and she's ready and able to move forward, because this is what they do. They move forward. Pages, knights, they move forward. It's a forward-moving energy, and this, of course, is a bringer of the truth. So, again, when I go back to that astrology chart, I see that this is a crossroads time. And again, this honesty card. We're not going to go very far unless we're absolutely honest with ourselves. Okay, let's see what's in the hopes and the fears. The Magician card. This is a good omen. This is a good omen for our time. We are about to create. The light is coming from the solar plexus region, which is all about wisdom, awareness, learning the lessons, getting the lessons. The light is coming and it's moving up through those infinity, that infinity symbol there, which of course is an 8 on its side. And of course 8 is all about that Capricornian energy, business, entrepreneurship, career, finances. This is, again, the number 1, too. The Magician is the first card. The Fool is 0, the potential of something. And then we move into this Magician energy where we have to decide what we're going to create. We have to decide what we want our future to look like. So who is the Magician? You can say, oh yes, the Magician is Joe Biden and the Magician is, whoever your favourite politician is, or no, the Magician is you. So again, courage, going with the flow, finding your magic. Let's have a look at what is, I love this, the Hermit. What is the the outcome of this eclipse? We're going to be thinking very, very deeply. Virgo, as I said the other day, the Hermit is not someone that just takes the lantern and off they wander through the wilderness in the dark. The Hermit is somebody that puts it all together, that understands what is needed through deep, deep, deep reflection. What is needed to get that flow started again. And when we're sitting in that flow, it is a beneficial and a benign and also an abundant energy. So no better card to come forward, which is a number 9, than the Hermit card. There is a Wheel of Fortune, interestingly enough, carved into the stone. I don't know if you can see that, but carved into the stone there behind the Hermit card. So yes, there's adversity. Yes, there's a journey to make. Yes, we have to find courage. Yes, we have to confront the detail. Yes, we have to be honest. But this is somebody that is moving out of that darkness into the light, and they're doing it themselves. Let's see what a clarifier is. Yeah, the 10 of Cups. This is completion. So, in this being reversed, the abuse of power will bring us more into this 10 of Cups energy. One more clarifier, the 4 of Pentacles. A caution. Don't let your insecurity don't let this unwillingness not to be honest hold you back. So again, this is not a preordained outcome. We have to be courageous enough to face the truth. Let's have a look at what's at the base of this. The Nine of Swords. Anxiety and worry. Look at all those crows bringing forward the truth. Those, actually, they're bats. Transformational energy in the dark. Fighting, attacking this person. Bringing forward the message that in order to get out of that dark, you actually have to face the truth. Face the light. Move back toward the light. The Nine of Cups, miracles, breakthroughs. This is this fawn energy here. When we're in the flow, when we've surrendered, we are open to miracles and breakthroughs occurring. I love validation that Spirit has our back. And the King of Swords. There's nothing wishy-washy about this King of Swords. This King of Swords stands ready, has decided they will be honest, has decided they will pursue the truth, and this is not somebody to be trifled with. This is determination, and this is also the energy that is running through the collective at the moment as well. Why? Because we've experienced the Tower, and we are moving from the Tower out of that energy into a new beginning. All right, I think that'll do. I've got a swag of cards here, and I think that'll do for our reading today. Lots of challenging energies, but also lots of life-affirming energies for us as well. And I am stepping shoulder to shoulder with those that are closing down old cycles that are no longer working for them and opening up into this new energy, this new and creative energy, this energy that is in the flow, in that divine flow. I'm not standing, I'm walking shoulder to shoulder with you. So thank you again for your wonderful comments that you brought through. What a huge energy of gratitude on my channel in my last reading, and that touches every single one of you. All right, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for your wonderful support, and I'll be back again with another reading soon. Thank you.